Let me yield to the gentle lady from Texas, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee.
Chairman Delahunt, I might offer to say that this is competing to be one of the most significant and important hearings on the Hill today. I only say that in the backdrop of an apology. I am between hearings in this room with hearings with soldiers in another room speaking to the question of being a United States soldier and being deported, in being in deportation because of the broken immigration laws. So let me thank you for this very significant hearing and apologize for having to go. But let me also say about the ranking member as well, we appreciate his interest and collaboration on this issue. Let me make it clear that our chairman is a former prosecutor. This is no soft-touch individual that would be willing to allow wrong to not be vindicated or to be weak on what should be strong. But I am outraged and appalled, and I believe our witness is still here. Mr. Kurnaz, are you still signaled in? Or have we lost the signal to Mr. Kurnaz? There he is, Mr. Kurnaz. Thank you so very much. Let me indicate that I am appalled. I am outraged. And I think my colleague, Mr. Moran, laid out the groundwork. Let me try to be pointed in my questions. First of all, I've been to Guantanamo Bay on several occasions and tried to pierce the veil. Mr. Nadler is absolutely right. I wish we could have found you. You were there for 5 years, which enhances my outrage, because I believe that it was clear in 2002 that you were innocent of any connections with terrorism, and the German government told the United States that. So as we went, we were able to be briefed by lawyers dealing with the various tribunals. We walked through the facilities. In fact, I was there when there were nothing but tent facilities, and it was our delegation that came back and indicated that at least air-conditioned structures and other elements should be present. Let me also lay on the record before I pose a question that it seems as if we have a new definition, Mr. Chairman, and I hope now that we can craft legislation so that we're not, if you will, wedded to the language waterboarding. Now we have new language called water treatment, which may bear on being torture as well. And so I understand now that rather than get labeled by saying we're doing waterboarding, and we can say, meaning those in Guantanamo Bay can say, we're not doing waterboarding, but this gentleman just told us about water treatment. Mr. Kurnaz, could you tell us about the water treatment again, please, so I can understand that?
It was happening in Kandahar, and there was a bucket of water, and they stick my head into the water, and in the same time they punched me into my stomach, so I had to inhale all this water.
You had what, sir?
I had to inhale
the water. And I assume this was a serious punch. You felt this punch and you were, in essence, incapacitated.
It was a strong punch, of course.
How many times did they subject you to that treatment, sir?
With the water treatment, it was just once.
Did you see or hear of other of those having the same kind of water treatment?
I didn't saw, but there was prisoners, they told me that the same thing was happened with him.
Other prisoners said it was happening to them?
Yes.
Now, we know that you were found innocent. We know that, or at least it was acknowledged by the German government as early as 2002. Were you aware, or was your lawyer making you aware that you had been found innocent in 2002? Did you know that you had been, that someone had given the word to the U.S. that you were not a terrorist?
No, at 2002 I didn't know about it.
No one got word to you?
No, nobody told me that.
Were you continually asking to have a lawyer or to be heard or to be in front of a tribunal to express your innocence?
I even didn't know that I had lawyers on outside until I saw first time a lawyer in Guantanamo.
So you were completely isolated and therefore no information was coming to you?
Yes, I had no any information about the outward.
Beside the water treatment, can you share with any other treatment that you received either in Kandahar or in Guantanamo Bay by U.S. military forces?
They hang me on chains on the ceiling. They pull me up on the ceiling until my feet was on the air. And in the same time, every day the interrogator came and asked me if I'm going to sign those papers or not.
Okay,
and
so they held you upside down? What did they do to you?
They hang me on chains, pulled me up on the ceiling.
Held him up on the ceiling? By his feet, upside down. All right, yes, no? Upside down, no. Feet?
On hand, no.
It was on my hands.
Okay.
It was on my hands. It wasn't upside down. But until my feet was on
I
the
see.
air, so.
Hands like over your head like
And-
this.
Yes, yes.
And feet off the ground. And they were trying to get you to sign this document.
And when the interrogator came, they pulled me back down and asked me if I'm going to sign or not. If I refused, they just did continue.
Well, let me conclude just by making a point that you did know Selçuk, and was that a friend of yours, Selçuk?
Selçuk Bilgin?
Yes, Selçuk Bilgin. Yes. Was that your friend?
Yes, he was my friend.
And did he commit suicide?
No, he didn't.
What happened to him?
He's living still in Germany, and he never did something like that.
Okay, was there someone who blew themselves up in a suicide bombing? Okay, so was there someone, was this incorrect? Was he accused of blowing himself up in a suicide bombing?
It was just a lie. It wasn't true.
So, and is the person still alive?
Yes, he's alive, and he's still living in Germany.
All right,
As
so
his lawyer, let me add, he was never charged of committing any crime in Germany.
all right, and in the United States,
He never knew about that allegation.
wow. In the United States, we finger people. They call that you fingered someone. Did his friend say that Mr. Kurnaz was a terrorist? Did his friend say that Mr. Kurnaz was a terrorist?
No.
No, never.
All right. Let me just conclude. Thank you, Mr. Kurnaz, for answering my question. Mr. Chairman, I just want to conclude.
Yeah, if the gentle lady would yield for a moment.
Yes.
It's
I'm happy to yield.
It's my understanding, and either Mr. Kurnaz or Mr. Azmi can respond if I'm representing accurately the role that your friend played. One of the reasons that was given at the CSRT for you being designated an enemy combatant was that you were involved with Mr. Bilgin, your friend, in a suicide bombing that occurred in November of 2003. Clearly, you were incarcerated in Guantanamo several years before November of 2003. And Mr. Bilgin, as you indicated, is alive and never, obviously, committed an act of terrorism against anyone by blowing himself up. Is that a fair and accurate statement, Mr. Azmi?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that's an accurate statement. The allegation is that Murat simply has an association with
A suicide bomber.
who might have later blown himself up. So
Who
mere
was never
friendship-
a suicide bomber.
That's right. And, of course, it was factually preposterous, as any 5-minute call to any German official would have revealed, because he was alive and well at the time and under no such suspicion of any such terrorist act.
So this is the basis for defining or labeling Mr. Kazan as an enemy combatant. this was, and I'm going to let Mr. Nadler explore the second basis, but that is, I think, reflective of the process that was put in place by this administration when these individuals who were detained at Guantanamo were brought to that facility and held. And I would suggest that that particular episode reflects a total lack of due process, a process that is dignified by calling it a process. It just simply didn't exist. And we wonder why we are criticized internationally and by many in this country.